Hello, everyone, and welcome to my first speed build that I've recorded and posting on here on YouTube. I wanted to kind of treat this as a building diary for myself, just to keep a record of everything that I've kind of built. And I kind of have something to say while I was building through this build. First off, this is technically not my first castle build. It's actually my third castle build. Um, I've never made or built castles before. Really is my very first time. I When I say first time, I meant like a lot of trials and errors, and this is like legitly the first castle that I kind of finished from start to finish, and I am a little bit more satisfied with it. Um, so let me explain. I did make a castle build before this one, and that castle build was kind of like a testing ground for me to see my capabilities on if I can even build a castle or not in this game. Um, I think I did it, which is why I built more castles. This is this castle that you're seeing right now is actually the third castle that I built. Second castle I built was actually supposed to be the first castle that I built. However, the video footage kind of is gone. I think somehow my video got corrupted while I was recording. Scratch that. No, that's not what happened. What actually happened was while I was building the second castle, somehow I forgot to save throughout while I was building. And when I did forgot to save, I did not, when I'm at a stopping point, I didn't save. I left the lot to go to the world, and literally, my game literally froze. And I literally had like 14 hours of like of gameplay, not gameplay, 14 hours of me building this castle. And at that point I was like, okay, it's literally my first video that I tried to post. I was already defeated. Like, could you imagine putting so many hours into a build and you tried so hard to decorate it to the point where you want it to be how you want it to be, and then after after many hours of putting it in, it's all gone. All of your saves, everything that you built is all completely gone. So again, I was defeated. So I literally took a break from The Sims for a little bit and kind of reset myself so then I can start again. And this is the castle that I literally started again. The second castle is completely different from this first castle that I've built, which is fine because I wasn't really super satisfied with the second castle I built anyway. So this castle is a lot better than the previous one. But anyways, this is a really big build. There is a lot of rooms and a lot of floors. Um, in The Sims, there's a maximum amount of floors that you can build, I believe, by base game with no mods. It's 6 floors, and I really tried to do the best I can on mimicking like different heights of the roof and then playing with the foundation to just give different heights just so it can kind of give that illusion that this is a big castle, even though technically, most of it you probably cannot play as much just because it's so big. But I try to map out the floor plan as best as I can just so it can be playable. Because sometimes when you have a really big lot and then you play on the lot, your Sims really take forever from going to one place to another, especially when it's such a big lot. So, this lot is based off of the royalty mod that I've been playing lately, and I've been testing out a lot. Obviously, the royalty mod is not perfect, which is fine because, it's still new, and recently they released a big update, so there's a lot of different changes. So I was trying to familiarize myself with the new updates in the mods, and based on um, the current, how would I say, the current status or of the mod as is, based on how it's made so far, I am using what I can to build the best layout I could think of to play the royalty mod. So, currently right now we're working on the first floor. I figured what would be easier for the gameplay for the royalty mod is to just put all the community stuff onto the first floor. Because I believe when I was looking through the information on the mod, I might be wrong, I could be wrong. You do have guests come in when you do play the mod of your royal daily duties. And because there's going to be Sims coming on and off the lot pretty much every single day, when you do have that um, lot challenge on this lot, I figured just easier to just have every community, or not every daily duty task be on the first lot on the first floor, and then the second to whatever floor, maximum floor. I think I used 6 in the end. How many did I use? Let's see. One. How many floors is this? I'm looking. I'm opening. I'm at the same time. I have my second monitor looking at the game as it is, just to see. So it seems like there's one floor, two, three, four. Oh, wait. Was I wrong? Is the max floors 4, not 6? Hmm. I thought it was 6. That's fine. That's okay. Anyways, that's fine. Since it is like 4, it's like, okay, it's 4 floors. But for some reason, it does give the illusion that it is longer. It is not longer. It does give the illusion that it looks taller than it is, which I think I accomplished that, but I don't know. You guys can tell me if I did or not. Anyways, so talking more about this lot, let's see. So there is, so I think the requirements for a lot of the royalty mod on specific rooms that you need. So you need a throne room, that's one. This is based off of the most current royalty mod update. So you need a throne room, one. You need a ballroom, two. You also need a state room, which is, when I was looking at what a state room is, it's a room where diplomats come meet for more private conversations to talk more about their duties. So that's the third one. You also need a private quarter, which is just a bedroom. When I was also looking, I was like, what's specifically a private quarter? Did they just name it differently during that time era? I was looking all this stuff up because I wanted to try to be a little accurate on the names and the rooms that they kind of identified in this. Anyways, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I believe I named 4 there. Yes. Ballroom, throne room, state room, and private quarters. And I believe in the most recent update for the mod is there are there it they also added like a banquet hall, which to me, a banquet hall is kind of like a dining room in my opinion. So how I kind of designed this, I actually have a lot of different kind of rooms. So maybe it's probably easier if I were to talk about what kind of rooms there are in this build so far. Not so far. Oh my god, why am I saying so far? It is the build. This is the final build. Just so you know, I did finish this build from start to finish and furnished it. I am not ready to upload it onto the gallery just yet because I do actually want to test a few things on this lot and make sure everything is running correctly. So I do actually have like a royalty family household that is living in this for my save file. So once I kind of figure out all of the testings and make some minor changes on like not so much on the layout, more placements, then I can figure out, then I will upload it onto the gallery for everyone, for all of you guys to kind of look through and play around if you guys wanted to. Um, but anyways, so, um, this video is mostly only focusing on the exterior of the build. I'm not going to focus so much on the floor plan and like what rooms are what, just because this is a really long build. When I recorded this castle, it was approximately 40 hours of footage that I recorded. And that's so much. I tried different speed to see if I can minimize the minutes in this video even further. But even doing it in a way where the speed build looks nice enough where it's not jumping all over the place, you can kind of still see what I'm doing. But to be honest, I also still think that this is still too fast on my speed video. But let me know what you guys think, if I should slow down even further, because the thing is, if I slow down the speed, the video is going to be longer. And like I said, this is like a 40-hour speed build, or not speed build, 40-hour footage of me just building this lot. In my opinion, I think the best way to divide this is really divide it into one video for exterior and then one video for interior. Obviously, the interior is going to be a lot more, I would assume it's going to be a little bit longer just because I have to figure out the floor plan on what building is supposed to be for what, and how many bedrooms, where is everything's gonna be. It's just because normally how I do a lot of my builds is I use a lot of reference images on Pinterest. So a lot of the images that I love and save on my Pinterest board, it's a lot of AI images. And there's still a lot of research in AI currently to this day, but in this case, there's a lot of AI in Pinterest. So much AI. If you really go down in the rabbit hole of in the creative side of, there's a lot of AIs for just a decorative, very aesthetic, pretty room or a house. And for AI, even though it looks really nice and aesthetically it looks beautiful, realistically, it doesn't make sense. Such as like when I was building this castle, I think I got most of it down based on the image that I pulled up, and with the best that I could to make it as realistic as possible. But there are some times where there's like a random stair just leading up to somewhere, and it just becomes like it just goes nowhere. And then you have to figure out, should there be a stair there or not, or if I should really go for a really going with the reference itself. So there was a lot of back and forth of that while I was building this at the same time. It's not the greatest, but you can kind of see there's a lot of mental stuff happening when I'm really building this, because you want to make the build look so pretty based on the reference that you are. Like, okay, I will admit that this castle that I am referencing from is very heavily influenced by what I found, but there are a lot of changes. There are a good amount of changes that I did, such as they don't show the back of this build of the picture of the image that I'm referencing from. So because there is no back reference, I have to make it up on the spot. So if you kind of see on the screen here, I'm literally trying to figure out on what does the back of the castle should look like. Should it be like a lot of windows? Should there be like a part that should be sticking out more because it's too flat. So a lot of back and forth with that. Not only that, there was a lot of issues with the roofing as well too on this, just because this is a very it's not like I mean, yes, it's a castle, but there's different kind of castles, right? There's different kind of aesthetic castles, different styles. And first of all, I don't really know what kind of style this castle is. Um, but it seems like there is a lot of subunits that's being added on this castle, which made me do more research on more castles. Never thought that I would do so many research on castles until I was doing this video. But I was looking at doing a little bit more research on back in the day, how they build castles, and I'm sure they planned out the floor plan on where things go, but I'm sure there are also scenarios where after they completely finish the whole entire like building and they want to do renovations. Obviously, they're not going to completely take the whole entire castle down or whole building down. What they will do is they would add more rooms on the existing building as it is. And if you kind of see on the left side of this castle, there is that really, really tall tower that's pretty much isolated from the main part of the castle it is. So I was trying to figure out what kind of room, what should be in that tower itself. Um, I I think realistically, if you were to be living in that time period, I think that building is meant to be for servants that they live on the property and that's where they live, and then they have an access door to enter the main part of the castle. I, however, did not do that for this build just because I was still testing things out on how servants are programmed in this mod. However, there is a part in this build where I did technically make like a basement. And that was, I was debating on whether I should be building servant rooms or not. Still debating. If I'm doing still, I'm still doing a lot more testings on this mod. But if I don't necessarily need to build servant rooms, I will delete that basement room right there with the staircase that leads down to it. That can definitely be made into like a hobby room or a skills room like easily. So I'm just still testing things out to figure out what I want, but I mean not what I want on more things. But until then, I'll figure it out, and then once I figure it out, then I'll post this lot onto my gallery for you guys to have in your game. But sorry, that was my water. But anyways, so besides that, I did I decided on this specific lot for this build just because the royal family that I had in mind to live in this castle, I kind of see them as they are very cold, not like image wise. Okay, it's a little hard for me to explain. I'm very bad at explaining and describing things. But lately, the easiest thing for me to kind of describe them is I've been reading a lot of manhwas, a lot of webtoons, and I've been super, you know, I love reincarnation genres, that isekai vibe. I love that. Like, I am all about that. And there was this one manhwa that I was reading that I was so inspired to want to create like a household for. Let me see. Let me try to remember what manhwa it was. I believe the manhwa is called My In-Laws Are Obsessed with Me. And if you have not read it, I think it's a really good reincarnate. It's not the best, but at the time when I was reading it, it was quite good. I was hooked onto it, and a lot of their attires at the time was I completely forgot the time period. me coming from school, like fashion school and all that stuff. Literally drawing the blank right now. But the fashion, like the clothes, the aesthetic in that manhwa was so nice. It was so modest, but so upscaled. Like there was a lot of lace, dark colors. Um, there was a lot of like you shouldn't really show your skin so much just because I don't want to spoil the manhwa or the webtoon. But if you do read it, you know what I'm talking about if you do read it. But um anyways, if, anyways, I was super into this manhwa and I was so inspired by the attires that they were wearing. Like maybe if I can find a reference like not specifically from the manhwa itself, just but if I could just find a photo reference, I'll pop it onto the screen or something like that. But I was so inspired, and it made me want to make a royal family household inspired by that manhwa and that family. So I made the family, and I was so happy. I was so excited when I was making them in cast. Obviously, they're not the actual same characters as in the manhwa, although I tempted to actually add them into the save file. Not so sure. I'll think about it. But when I was making the household, like when I was making royal si- this is a I decided on this household is royal siblings. They are brother and sister. They I have no idea what kind of backstory to give them as of yet. I just know that they had to leave from their family kingdom, I believe so, and this is the new place that they are settling to start their kingdom. And their dynamic, I still don't know as of yet between the two of them. I just know that whoever gets married first is gonna be the royal, the diplomat of this. Sorry, not diplomat, the monarch of this world, and whoever is second to marry will still be considered part of the royal family, but they will have a noble title instead. So they might be like the Grand Duke or Grand Duchess or whatever. Not so sure. Um, for me, I don't really know what kind of backstory to give to my Sims. Not until I kind of played them myself, like after I built their house or their lot and I built the household and I played them a little bit. And then based on like how I played them and what the experience that they kind of go through, that's kind of how I'm just gonna basing it off of. Kind of technically what any other gameplay would be. Yeah. So I figured I would be making a royal family household in this world. I also made their lady in waiting and gentleman in waiting as well too. To live with them as well. I was testing out the lady in waiting and gentleman in waiting, and as I was playing this game, I realized I of how they programmed this game based on just that lady in waiting and gentleman in waiting specifically. So when you come into this mod, you would think that the Sims, the lady in waiting or gentleman in waiting, when you ask for like a beverage like a tea, when you ask them to make tea for you, you would think that they would make the tea and they would bring it to you. Like how normally what lady in waitings usually are realistically. But because of how the game is mechanicked and how they kind of program the game, what they actually do is when you ask your lady in waiting to make the tea, the lady in waiting goes to the location of where the tea making is, like the object when you get in buy mode. They make the tea and then they leave it there. So technically, they did make the tea for you, but you personally, your sim has to go get it themselves. So that's like the restrictions a lot in the gameplay when you try to make like a lot of mods, I guess. Not saying that I am a mod myself. This is just me as a sim player that played for so many years and having a little bit of a better understanding of how the game has been made and works and how they program the game. So there are a lot of trials and errors on when I was playing this royalty mod. Not that I mind. I'm actually having so much fun with this mod. There's just a lot of like these small things that you kind of have to get around to make your gameplay more fun. So there's just like those like blockades that happen sometimes. But you know what? Like those things shouldn't be like none of those should get in the way of your fun when you're playing a new game save and all that stuff. But yeah, I found out about all of that stuff while I was testing out playing my household for a little bit. And that was what I discovered, which is fine. That's all it is. In the meantime, I'm just gonna treat my ladies in waiting and gentlemen waiting as another body in this household that is walking around in this house. I do know that there are also servants in this game as well. Like I mentioned before, I was trying to make like a servant quarter for them. Still testing, but it seems like there's only a maximum amount of servants that can be assigned to a lot, and I believe it's only a maximum of four, which honestly, I think four active servants and a lot is plenty. You don't want to have too many Sims on the lot anyways, or else it's gonna lag the game. However, if there is only four servants, I might want to just make more servants in this house and just have them just walk around to kind of make it seem like they're that important. I mean, they are supposed to be important. They're the royal family in this world. But anyways, currently right now in the gameplay for them, I am building their reputation. And I've encountered another problem, not the mod itself, but just in my gameplay, where to be able to continue further into the royalty mod, the aspiration part of it, you will need to befriend 10 Sims. And I don't have enough Sims in the world that I personally made for them to befriend. So, which means I need to make more Sims in this world. So I'm currently making, that is my plan right now, actually. I'm trying to make more Sims to be placed in this world. And me, as like how I play The Sims is I create a Sim and I work on them to make them try to be successful. Since this is a royalty mod save file, I'm trying to make them to become successful, whether they become a noble, whatever kind of rank of nobles, or they're peasants or more royalty families. I just need to just make more Sims, basically, just so I can build the population in this specific world. By the way, the world that I am the world, if you are still not familiar what lot I am on based on my camera angles of me swirling around the castle. The world that I'm building on is Brindleton Bay. It's the 64 by 64 lot, the biggest lot in this world. Makes sense. I mean, I'm building a castle, might as well put it on the biggest lot. I was debating on putting it on the 30 by 30 lot next to the lighthouse, but again, it's not big enough. Like, this castle needs to be grand. It's one of the biggest royal families in the sci file that I'm making. So, um, I realized when I was building this castle and building this world, I think I had an image in mind on what kind of world I want I want Brindleton Bay to be in this save file. I actually downloaded a map replacement, and I think what I really like about map replacements in when you do download them for your game is it does actually give that theme vibe that as soon as you enter into your game, and that to me that kind of throws off a lot of what I'm trying to do for my save file. So specifically in Brindleton Bay, I downloaded a map replacement that's medieval, and I think it's like fits so perfectly with the save file that I'm working on right now. And it's the specific kind of version that I have is like snow version. So all how I imagine this world to be is it's snowing mostly all the time. Oh, like it's extreme. There's extreme weather during the winter time, so it's always snowing. There's always like snowstorms all the time. And I also heard, I think when I was researching a little bit, I think Brindleton Bay has more extreme weathers compared to other worlds, which is perfect for me. So this is the kind of vibe that I was thinking. I was thinking of that like the northern side of the country where it's so cold, super distant from the west side of manhwas or world building in a lot of those isekai manhwa webtoons and like scenarios, alternate universe, whatever you would say. And that was what I was imagining. Where Brindleton Bay is the north of like this big sim world that they live in. Not only that, it's a fantasy world slash isekai world. So I wouldn't really say this is a medieval time period. I would say it's more of like a fantasy alternative world that your sim got isekai'd into this world. And I just thought that was a really cool idea just because I do like mixing up like modern and fantasy, which technically I believe The Sims is kind of like that, where there's modern, but they have fantasy, like magic involved because of the Realm of Magic expansion pack, and then they have all these like different kind of themes combined together, which and me as a player, as a sim player, I like to mix in both like surrealism and realism into my gameplay. And like I'm not really playing on in regards to like the time period. It's just this is right now. This is the fantasy world right now. And like in the fantasy world they also have like magical appliances that they use to, for example, make food, like a stove. They might maybe like electric stove is not such a thing, obviously, so they use like magic stones to power up the appliances. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of webtoons and manhwas that has that kind of same theme. I'm gonna choose that theme. This is what I'm gonna choose. Like, I think this makes the most sense for my save file, so that's what we're gonna do. But believe since I've actually I made the household for my royal family right now. I am building on a new lot currently right now, and it's another lot on Bridleton Bay. That will most likely be the next speed build after this one. Depending on how fast I finish this, depending on how soon I will post it up onto the channel. But giving you a hint, um, it's a lot right next to the 64 by 64. I don't know how much I can tell you, just because I don't really know what it is so far as of yet. I only have the exterior, and I kind of have an idea of what kind of build. Okay, you know what? Let's still be honest. Let me just be honest with you. I know what it is. I'm just keeping it quiet and secret is because I don't know, like I don't really know where this video is gonna go, nor do I know where this channel is gonna go. Currently right now, this channel is just kind of just my speed build diaries where I talk about stuff, talk about my builds, or whatever. Um to be honest, I don't even know if I should even be doing like a voiceover throughout this whole entire video as well. Like I'm looking at like how long this video is, and it's approximately about 50 minutes, I think. No, yes, it's about approximately 50 minutes, and here I am still rambling. Maybe I can do this. Maybe I can talk throughout the whole video. Who knows? But do people like that kind of video? I don't know. I guess I guess that's what's kind of a little hard when you first start off on YouTube is to find your identity on the platform. Like, what kind of YouTuber are you? What kind of content are you making? Stuff like that. And like, obviously, I don't know any of that stuff. this is all so new to me. I have tried many times, but I think this is the first time I'm literally trying to post. Anyways, I don't know where it's gonna go. We'll see where it goes. But as of right now, I'm just having a lot of fun just building lots for my save file. And I feel like documenting while I'm working on my save file, I think it's kind of fun. Not that I do that already. To other people, like I share my stuff to my partner and all that stuff. But like I think posting it might be a little bit different. You know, posting some things for the whole public to see versus just explaining it and like expressing it to your close friends and people that like love you, support you. It's very different because there's like a whole bunch of perception, what's the word called? Um, perception. I don't think that's the right word that I'm trying to say. I think it's I think it's I don't know. I can't think at the top of top of my head at the moment. But people do judge you. Like that's just how it is in our society, unfortunately. People will judge you on whatever you do, whatever you say, and it is what it is. It's part of the job. Like it's part of when you make yourself public. And like not a lot of people are very comfortable with doing that. Me, aka me, I'm under that category that I am not really comfortable. I'm not such a public person. I'm so quiet. I like to hide under a rock. I like to not know people. I like to not let people know that I actually exist in the world. I'm just such a one single person in this world, and as this one person who really cares about me, who really does, right? I mean, me just rambling on this freaking video talking about why I'm building and why I love The Sims, and I spent basically my whole life on The Sims. Maybe it's probably is ready for me to kind of start sharing about like me playing The Sims. I don't know. We'll see. As I know, this is just we're gonna test it out and see where this goes. I'm just really happy that I've finished this very big build. This lot that I built took so long, 40 hours, about approximately 40 hours of me building this from start to finish. Like it's including like the exterior of the building, it's including the furnishings, it's including the landscaping. Not that I did a lot of landscaping on this lot. I feel like I'm not the greatest in landscaping in The Sims, personally. I don't even know how to make a waterfall in The Sims, and I want to learn how to make a waterfall. Which I feel like if I'm really dedicated enough, depending on the build, if I really want to do a waterfall, probably will do a waterfall. Um, and as of right now, that's an intermediate skill for sim building for me, and I don't think I'm ready to attack that as of yet. But right now, wow, I've really just been rambling on throughout this whole video, and then when I'm looking back at the video, here I am, almost done with the build. But it seems like, so it looks like I'm on the very last floor. Oh god, really, this floor plan was driving me nuts. Like, I was having such a hard time figuring out where places are. And like, you see that tower that's like super pointy, and the color of the walls is so different from the rest of it. Don't worry about it. I took that out. Like, I don't even know what I was thinking. Like, I needed one more tower in that specific spot for it to feel like it's like balance in my eyes. Um, just because like for me, I like things to be a little bit balanced, not so flat. If something kind of sticks out too much, that would bug the shit out of me. Sorry for swearing, but that would bug me so much that it was at a point where I was almost done with this build. I needed to take that out. Everything needs to be unified. It needs to be like it's been planned. It's like I need to think of it as like it's a choice, not a mistake. that I put that up there. So I removed it. I ended up making my own like tower, and it ended up turning out a lot better just because I was able to play with the foundation height to give it the right height that I needed for this build. It just needed like an extra height. And like castles are not, they're supposed to be really big and really tall, and for having a limited amount and how many floors that you have in the game is really tricky. I literally had to think about, in those Disney amusement parks, they're really good at giving that illusion where everything looks so big, but really it's not so big at all. So I was trying to use whatever skills that they were using to build in those amusement park to build my castle. Did it work? I don't know. Maybe it did. Again, you can tell me if it looks okay. Um, if not, maybe I'll try to do better on the next castle. But either way, I was actually quite happy with how this castle ended up being. I I think it was a lot. It was just a lot. You know what? I know I said that I was gonna mention about what kind of rooms I have in this. In the end, I didn't. I just literally just rambled on and on and on. And I feel like talking about the floor plan, and the rooms that I decided to build in this lot, I feel like I should just save it for the next video because this one's mostly about just the exteriors as a castle. I will be making another part of the a second part of the video, maybe two or three, just to just focus on just the interior. I just think it's a little bit easier to organize it that way and to see if talking throughout the whole video is my kind of thing or not, or if I just be doing music. I don't know. We'll see. For now, I'm just gonna test this out and see where it goes. Oh gosh. There's still like 5 more minutes of the video, but this is around the time where I started adding more extra details of some things that are missing. Like, that's too high. It needs something here. I really feel like, okay, it's very fair to say that I'm struggling a lot on choosing what kind of things to build on this. Like, what kind of windows, what kind of doors, what kind of accessories to add onto the walls. Honestly, I feel like it would have been a lot easier if like, I would have, okay. I feel like I would have had a better time on choosing what kind of objects to place if I had all the expansion packs and all the packs. I don't. And it's really expensive. Like I don't have all of them, which I don't know if that's a blessing in disguise or not. Just because, like when you like it's there's a lot of expansion packs. There's a lot of packs, stuff packs. There's a lot in The Sims 4, and you know that's a lot of money that you put in as well too. And I told myself that if I am gonna get a new expansion pack or stuff pack, I think it's a lot more worth it if I just wait for it to go on sale. Not unless if it's something that I really, really want. Like I think the one expansion pack, a few expansion packs that I jumped on for sure was cottage living, obviously. The animals, like how can you say no to farm animals and they live on your lot? Like, come on. And obviously during that time, cottagecore was such a big thing. They really played on the trend that was happening at the time. Excuse me. And then the other expansion pack that I bought was for rent. And again, very understandable. That was a expansion pack where they introduced apartment units. And, you know, we all needed that at that time. Like, all of us, we were all building a whole bunch of units. We all asked for it. We needed it. Very happy that I got it. I did play a little bit. To be honest, like I don't. Whenever I buy expansion packs and play The Sims, I don't actually play the expansion packs, like the events and the game mechanics that comes with it. I don't really focus on it that so much because I guess I'm more of like a sim builder rather than like a gameplay. I was debating on if I should also record a gameplay of me playing The Sims, but I don't know if I would have an audience of that or not. And I don't even know if people would enjoy how I play The Sims, you know? I don't even know if I'm good at it. All I'm good at is just playing games, I think, and, you know, other aspects in my personal life that I think I'm good at. Not good at everything, but anyways, it is close to towards the end. We are finishing up with the castle. I'm just adding some extra um I don't know what those are called. What are those things that are on top of the roofs? You know what? I'm gonna look it up really quick. Because those are very essential for when I was building the castles. I felt like those make such difference. Like just those pointy like rooftop. Are those roof toppers? Or is that what they're called? No, that's the name of a book. Um what are I'm gonna look it up. What are those roof pointy roofs called? Uh okay. The name of the roof is called a gable roof or spire, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the elements that you add on top of the roofs, like those pointy elements. What is the pointy decor on top of the roof? That should be something I should be looking. What's it called? Oh, wait. No, wait. Oh, they are called gables or spires. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. I think the one I'm specifically looking at is called Spire. There's also called a finial. I'm even pronouncing it right. A finial, a decorative cap or spire that sits at the top or end of a roof. Okay, so actually they are spires. Spire is a tall, pointed structure that extends skyward from a roof. Spires can give a building a sense of vertical lift. That makes sense. Anyways, that's it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed my speed video. If I will leave some more. Actually, I think I should give a list of expansion packs that I use on here. I know it doesn't really show so much, but I'm hoping to kind of like wrap it up towards the end when I do the decor the next part anyways. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!